Hey guys, welcome back. This is part number 2 of the Pac-Man build. The first one just uploaded, so now I'm, same day, half an hour later, I'm going to get this cabinet put together today, and then that'll be it for today. I went in the house and grabbed a bunch of parts I need. Let me show you what I brought out here. The table's getting to be a mess. But I'm not gonna use this speaker grill, it's all dented up. And I got a 6x9 speaker there, but I'm gonna use this for a template. So we still need to cut a hole in that speaker panel for this 6x9 and this grill. I have some nicer ones in the house, some nicer used ones that will sand down and paint when we do the coin door over there. Also, I brought out the 24-inch flat screen. There's the new control panel that I ordered from Twisted Quarter, I think it was. Then I have my leg levelers here, some plates for the leg levelers, screws, latches for the control panel. I have a set of these used brackets, which I'll clean up on the wire wheel and stuff, that we'll use to hold the control panel. These just go in here, and the latch goes through the notch right there. So your latch gets bolted on here, just like that, and it goes through that latch. So what I have set up here is the cabinet sides, and there's the bottom piece of plywood. We're gonna lay these two sides down on their back, and then we're gonna hold the plywood. We'll probably do one side at a time. We'll get the one side down, attached to one side of the plywood, bring the other one over, we'll get that attached, and then we'll probably put on that piece next, the coin door part, and then we can put our legs on it, and then we'll mount the top piece, the very top piece, and then we'll go outside and we'll cut this hole for the 6x9 speaker and drill the 4 holes for the bolts to go through the grill. And then we'll get that mounted on, and at that point we'll stand it up, we'll cut our upper and lower back pieces, and then we'll start figuring out the monitor mounting and stuff like that. So let me get set up on the tripod here and we will start doing this. Okay, hopefully we're in a good area that you can see what's going on. Try to stay in frame here. Get my glue and my screws and my drill and everything out. I gotta turn the heater down here real quick. It's cranking and it's getting warm. Okay, let's get this first side laid down. Just want to be careful, you don't want to chip it all up. And then we'll get the bottom panel over here. There's a little hump in my concrete, so it kind of makes it a pain in the butt. Grab our stapler. What we'll do is we'll staple both sides on first, and then we'll come back and screw it in. So what I want to do first is I'm actually going to put a bead of glue on the plywood itself, and then we'll lift it up into place. And we want to make the front edge flush with the top edge flush with this cleat that we put on here. We'll come down at the bottom here, we'll put one. I hit a screw or something, the staple curled up a little bit right there. We'll just tap it down with a hammer, it'll be fine. So now we're going to get the other side in place. I ordered, the artwork's going to be like black and blue and stuff, maybe a little bit of red. And I ordered some light blue T-molding. I figured that should look pretty good on here. Just trying to do something different. I mean, I could have put orange on there like Pac-Man, but we're not doing Pac-Man artwork, and it's custom wrapped, so. And we're not going to go super crazy with the wrap. We're just going to make a nice classic style, something that just kind of shows off some of the classic arcade games and characters. So let's get this piece stapled on here. And now we're going to drill it and get the screws in it. See, that's why I like to make my cleats almost an inch wide or even an inch wide, is that I have plenty of room to put screws in them and not worry about cracking them all up. So if you see the cabinet rocking around a little bit like this, that's because, like I said, there's a hump right in the middle of the slab that always causes a problem. Yep, broke my bit. I have to go get another one. Wonder if I can sneak a screw past that bit. Yep. So let me go see if I have another one of these countersinking bits. I think I do. Okay, I didn't have another bit. So now we brought a third drill to the party. So I just put a regular drill bit in here. We can still use this countersinking bit, the end of it. So it is what it is. So we're gonna go ahead and get 5 screws in this side. I already have one in there. Okay, bottom's mounted. Now we're going to do this part where the coin door goes, the front. Let's move you guys in a little bit closer here. This one we're going to have to kind of climb in the cabinet to temporarily staple it down. But what we're going to do is we're going to test fit this first. Okay, we're going to get a clamp, and this is flush here, and we're in 1/8 of an inch there. So what that means is the cabinet's crooked right now. So we need to hit that side up. Now we're about flush on each side. Let me go run and grab a clamp. I want to put a clamp here, clamp this together, and then before we clamp it, we'll glue it, and then we'll clamp it down. Okay, I got everything I need. Let's get this glued. Okay, now we want to make the bottom flush with the plywood, which is pretty good right there. So now we need to get this clamp up here. I'm going to put a block of wood between the clamp and the cabinet on each side. This side I'm going to use a fatter block. The other side I'm just going to use a paint stick. You want to make sure you do this because you could damage that cabinet. You don't want to put a dent in your cabinet side. Probably should have put the paint stick on this side, but it should be all right. Slide this in there just so we don't have metal contact on the wood. See if I can pull it like that and hold that one. That'll work. Start cranking this in. I want to get this nice and tight so that our gaps on each side are nice and tight. good there. We're still nice and flush along here. Make sure it's down. I'm going to actually crawl inside there, throw a couple staples, and then we can get some screws in there, which I'll probably just screw it in when I stand it up. It'll be a little bit easier that way. Okay, we look nice and tight everywhere. We'll just leave that clamp on there for right this minute. I want to get these leg levelers drilled and installed next. Actually, I wonder if we should put that top on. No, let's do the leg levelers real quick and get those out of the way. I gotta go grab some drill bits. All right, let's get these put on. Now, I usually just kind of eyeball these. I just put all four of them in the same spot. Like for instance, I'm gonna sneeze. Just want to make sure I'm not gonna hit these screws. Excuse me. So we're gonna come down almost a 1/4 inch down from that plywood, and we're just gonna come all the way to the edge. So what I'm gonna do first is I'm gonna take my drill here and I'm gonna drill a center hole. Just a little center hole there. And we're going to take this bigger bit, which is 13/64, and we are going to drill all the way through the bottom. I only want to go so far, and then I'm going to go on the inside and finish the hole because I don't want it splintering out on the inside again. I'm okay if it splinters on the outside because the plate's going to cover it. I don't know if it did or not. A little bit. So now we can set our plate in here. Just get it lined up where we want it. And we have these 5/16 headed screws. And the nice thing is these are 1-inch screws. So the two outside corners go all the way through the plywood into that cleat a little bit. So it gives it a real nice bite. I should have probably got shorter ones for the outside so they didn't stick through the bottom, but everybody's going to be in the bottom anyways. And then we're going to just screw this leg leveler in. Just going to kind of just take them, just kind of make them all about the same height for now. Obviously, I'm not going to worry about adjusting it much here because once it gets into his home in his basement or wherever he's putting it, he's probably going to want to obviously level out the legs so the machine doesn't rock around. So we'll put one more plate on camera, and then I'll put the bottom two on, and then we'll come back and we will get the top piece put on. Then we're going to go outside and get the speaker cut out, put that panel in, and then at that point we are ready to stand the cabinet up for its first time. So let's do this again here. We're going to do the same thing. Drill a little pilot hole. Keep it about the same height as the other side. That looks good there. gonna do the bottom two, and then we'll come back and we'll get that top fastened on. Okay, those are all on. Now we're gonna get ready to stick the top on. Before, when I was cutting the sides and I routed my T-molding groove all the way around it, I forgot to mention, I'm putting I told you I ordered the light blue T-molding. So the light blue T-molding is gonna go from about here all the way around and a little bit around on the back side. Then I just take straight black T-molding and I go along the bottom and all along the back. I just think it kind of looks better to not have, when you do a colored T-molding, to not have it on the back edge. Just kind of leave it black like it originally would have been anyways. So let's go around here to the top. We'll mount that and then we will be ready to go outside, cut that speaker hole out. And then after that, we'll get that mounted and we'll stand it up. And then we got to get hopefully a little bit more done. I got to leave in another hour and 20 minutes I have before I got to take off. So hopefully I can get most of this done today. It's supposed to rain tomorrow. So I don't want to be trying to cut the cut in here. So I'm kind of hoping I can get the majority of this done today. If I don't finish, I'll just have to do it another afternoon or something. Only do so much. So I'm gonna grab my stapler here. Now, this top piece, I just staple it and screw it from the top down into the cleats. I don't worry about coming upwards. I'm not worried about seeing screws or staple holes in the top of the cabinets. Nobody seems to care. So we're just gonna get this lined up. And we'll get it stapled and then we'll put a couple screws in it. I'm gonna run my glue on the board itself. Hopefully you guys are liking this. Hopefully I'm able to help anybody out that wants to build their own cabinet. Anybody can do it. If you have a little bit of skill set and a few tools, you can accomplish anything. So don't ever think that you can't do something or get intimidated by it. The only way you're going to succeed doing stuff like this is just doing it and figuring it out, you know? Grab my screws. As you can see, I mean, for the most part, I'm using a lot of basic tools. And you don't need cordless tools or any of that fancy stuff. I just have them because of my job, and a lot of times I'm on a job site where we don't have power, or there's 10 guys working there and everybody's plugged in and we only have a couple outlets, so it pays to have cordless for stuff like that, but you don't have to have that for home, you know. To be honest with you, you get everything you need at Harbor Freight to do this for a fraction of the cost. What it's going to cost to go buy good tools that you're not going to use every day. I was actually thinking earlier when I was using that router about actually going to Harbor Freight and buying a router with a bigger round one with a bigger base, and just keep that one just for cutting profiles of cabinets, and then keeping my little one for doing the T-molding. So I don't have to keep switching bits and all that stuff. It might make it a little bit easier. So I might go up there and just grab one of their routers. I haven't even checked routers there before. I know they sell them. Oops. And also, when we put the speaker grill or speaker panel in, I always put screws through the bottom as well. You do see a little bit of the screw heads, but they're way up in there. Because you can't get the drill in here unless you put that panel in first and then this one on after. But once again, nobody seems to care. as you can see how, I don't know how well you can see those, but you can barely even tell they're in there. I just recess them enough so that the heads aren't sticking out of the wood. So get these last 2 screws in. And we are going to go outside and get this other pieces made. Or cut the speaker. As soon as the speaker's cut, we'll stand it up. I want to make the lower back pieces, the upper and lower back pieces, which I'm going to run in the house. I'm going to put 2 plastic handles in this, like the Midway handles that they have. I have some ones that are from, I ordered them a long time ago on eBay. I have a bunch of them. We'll put a set of those on this cabinet just to make it a little bit easier for people to carry. So let's go outside now, and I'm going to set up out there, and we're going to get this speaker cut out. Okay, let's find our center here. Should be 11 5/8 roughly. Yep, there we go. We're going to come down a couple inches for the speaker grill. Let's find the center of our speaker grill. 9 inches, so 4.5. Kind of set that on there. We're going to measure 2 inches, 2 inches. Let's get these 4 holes drilled first. Use that as a guide. This is the back side. I'm going to take my speaker, I'm going to hold it over these 4 holes. We're going to trace the outside of the speaker. Doing it on the back side so that you don't see this. Now I'm going to come in all the way around this. I'm going to hand draw this inwards. Let's see how I'm going to do this here. Just going to kind of eyeball this. Just kind of make a circle, like a football shaped. I've done this a few times, as you can tell. Just want to kind of... I'm pretty sure you can go online and download stencils of these holes. But that's what we're going to cut out, that inside line there. So let me go grab my couple tools I need. I'm probably just going to need a jigsaw. Let me drill a couple holes first. Okay, let me go grab my jigsaw. Like that. Grill should cover it. Barely. Okay, we made it. All right, let me go back inside. Okay, let's get that installed. I might have pushed the record button when I was bringing the camera back in, so there might be a brief second of me walking with the camera, but sorry about that. Put some glue on this. I just barely made it with that speaker grill cover in that hole. It's literally like 1/16 of an inch. I guess I should have made it a little bit tighter of a fit, but we made it. Luckily, I had to cut a new piece, which wouldn't have been the end of the world, but I'm not going to worry about stapling this. I'm just going to put a couple screws in it. Once I get it in the right spot. Okay. These in here, I'm trying to space them so they look the same on each side. Because if somebody does look at it, at least it looks proportionate. In a couple weeks here, next 2 weeks, not this coming weekend, but the following one, we're going to be down in Geneva on the Lake. My girlfriend has a store down there called Blue Dragon. It's on Geneva on the Lake on the Strip. She runs it. I'm pretty much the maintenance guy there. I fix stuff, and we are going to be ripping out some sidewalks down the whole side of the building and replacing them in 2 weeks. I'll probably make a little video on it so you guys can see it. And then once Geneva on the Lake opens, there's a couple of arcades down there. We're going to talk to the owners and see if they have a problem with me walking around, and we'll make a couple videos of the couple arcades that are down there. A lot of the arcades down there are redemption. There's a few arcades that have some older games, but for the most part, a lot of it is redemption. But it'd be kind of something cool to see. Maybe I can walk up and down the Strip and show you guys if nobody's ever been to Geneva on the Lake, Ohio before. It's kind of something neat to see. It's been around for a long time. I believe it's over 100 years. And I can give you a little tour of the store and stuff like that. That opens, she opens next weekend, on weekends, and then Mother's Day weekend, it's full time, Monday through Sunday. So she pretty much works down there 7 days a week, all summer long. So that just gives me even more time to be out here in the shop when I'm not at work. Because she's literally gone from sun up to sundown. So, all right, now what we're gonna do, let's stand this up, and then I wanna get that front panel screwed in still, because we have not screwed that in yet. We just stapled it. So let's get it stood up. And we'll throw some screws in here. We'll probably do 4 on each side, should be all it needs. So we'll grab 8 screws here. Maybe I can find a couple cabinets or something to pick up this summer, and we can maybe go on a pickup video. We'll have to see. I look at Facebook Marketplace every day, multiple times a day, and there's just doesn't seem like there's a lot out there right now. I don't know if all the games are getting bought up or people want outrageous amounts of money for some of these games that are just beat up, and I'm not doing that. I try to always make it to where I wouldn't lose out if I had to sell it. It doesn't always work out like that, but most of the time it does. You know, like the Buck Hunter Safari that I sold this last week, I lost my butt on that game, but I had a lot of problems with it. It kept had monitor issues twice, and I ended up selling it with monitor issues. I got it and somebody had changed the power supply, so that was an issue. What else was a problem? Oh, the BIOS settings had to be reset because the battery went dead, and I'm just not good with computers, so it was a bit of a learning experience for me. And nobody played it, you know, nobody ever played the game. So I just figured, you know what, sometimes you just got to cut your losses, move on. The guy I sold it to is in Chicago. He's really good with those computers, he said. So hopefully he, you know, does what he wants to do with the game and has fun with it or sells it, whatever. I mean, at least it went to somebody that knows what they're doing with it. Okay, we are in. So now it's time to make the lower back piece. That piece down there, and then we are going to make a piece for up here. And then the door will separate the two. So I'll probably make a 48-inch tall door. So what I'll do is I'll get my, oh boy, sorry about that, guys. Tripped on the stand there. So what I'll probably do is get a measurement from here to here, and then we will figure out what 48 inches is, and then we'll split the difference and make those two panels. Those two panels, the upper one I'm gonna put two handles in. The lower panel, I'll probably drill a couple air holes into it so that you can, just for a little bit of ventilation to go in and out of the cabinet. Let's take a walk around the front of the cabinet, see what it looks like so far. I got my plugged in here because the battery was dying. So bear with me. But that's where we're at so far. It's starting to look like a Pac-Man cabinet. And these cabinets usually turn out and they're really sturdy. You know, they're nice and firm. Here's the control panel that I ordered. This is going to mount like this. And then we got to get this at the angle we want it at, and then our screen goes at that same angle up. And then we got to put this piece back here. Now that screen is going to be pretty close from side to side. Got about an inch or so. And we're going to mount that up in here. Probably up more towards the back more than down here, obviously. So we're getting there. So I'm gonna go, we're gonna get set up outside again. We're gonna get those two top pieces cut. Let's go back there and take a measurement. I'm gonna grab a marker. We'll take a measurement and see what we come up with. Okay, we have a total height of 63 1/4. And we are exactly 63 1/4 on both sides. So that is good. So now, some glue here. So 63 1/4. We want to be at 48 inches. We can even go 47. It doesn't have to be 48. 63 1/4. Let's say 40 inches off of that is 23 1/4. Another 8 inches would be 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14 1/4. So 14 and 1/8. 14 and 1/8. Let's try that and see how it works out. 14 and 1/8 there. The sheet is 49 inches, but we want to cut at least a 1/2 inch off of each edge because, like I showed you before, the edges are always all splintered up and everything. And I don't know how to do math because that's only 36 inches. So apparently I need to go back to school for math. So basically I'm off by 12 inches. So let's go down 6 inches. Let's go down to, let's try 8 inches. And we'll come up 48. My math teacher would be proud of me. That's 7.5. I'm fine with that. We'll do 7.5 at the top, 8 on the bottom. So we need to cut 2 pieces, one 7.5, one 8 inch. So let's go do that, 23 1/4 wide. I'm gonna take my circular saw. We're just gonna cut a 10-inch strip all the way down this thing, and then we'll take it on the table saw and cut it to size. It'd be a lot easier to manage than this missed sheet. So let's just outside. Okay, let's go over to the saw here. Let's just cut the whole strip down to 9 inches at first here. Just to give us something straight to work off of on the one side. We'll run the factory edge against that. Set this to 24. We're going to cut them, 2 of them 24 long, and then we'll bring it down to 23 1/4. This is our factory edge right here. When you're running a long piece like this through the table saw, don't put pressure on this side. Try to just work it off of that side and kind of just guide it with this hand, because it'll bind up on you and kick back at you. Okay, now this first one, let's do the 8-inch one first. And I know that this is my good cut. My battery's starting to die. So now we're going to cut this one at 7.5. I forgot to cut them down, but that's all right. We'll do that in a minute. I forgot to cut them down to 23 1/4. Not a problem. these two. Switch out this battery, then we'll go back inside. Okay, before we bring these in, I want to drill 3 holes in here for ventilation, and then these are the handles I want to put in the other part. So we're going to find our center here. 11 5/8. And we're going to find our center this way, which is 4 inches. That's going to be our first hole. And then that leaves us with 11 5/8, so we'll split that in half. 5 1/2, 5 1/2 is 11, 5 3/4, 5 3/4 is close enough. So we're going to measure from the center over 5 3/4, down 4 inches. Same thing over here, 5 3/4, down 4 inches. And this will give us nice 3 holes right in a row. We're going to use this 2-inch hole saw, which of course my drill is inside, so I gotta go grab that real quick. Sorry about the wind if the wind's getting a little noisy. I only want to drill through halfway, and then we'll flip it over and drill the other half. This bit is really old. Dead battery. Grab a battery real quick. Okay, the only thing left I want to do on this piece, this is the outside, this is the inside because it has some chipping on the edge. I want to make a little notch in it for the power cord. So I'm just going to come over here, I'm just going to make a little U-shaped notch. And we'll just cut that out on the table saw real quick. Doesn't need to be anything too fancy. We're just going to put a power strip in this cabinet. So we just need a power cord to fit through here. Just like that, just a little notch. Our wire will go right through there. When we drill out, or when we cut out the back door, I need to drill one more hole this size so that I can mount the power strip in there and you can reach in there to turn it on and off. So now we need to cut out the handles in the other one, the other piece, which is right here. Try to get some of this dust off of here. And the handles I'm going to put more towards the top, I think. I need to cut just a square hole, 2 inches by 4 inches. So let's find our center. And let's split our center in the middle. Okay, that's going to be the center of our handle, I think. Or do I want to put them more towards this way? And we'll make that our center. Then it's 2 inches each way. We're going to come down 1.5 inches. We'll go to 3.5. That'll give us our 2 inches. These don't need to be perfect. They're completely covered up. So now let's do over here. We'll cut these holes out. Now we can go in and install these 2 parts. I know a lot of people don't seem to care for multi-cades, but you know what? People like this that are buying them, it's really, really good for them. Let's say you have a nice finished basement, you got a pool table and big screen TVs and all this stuff, and you don't have room for a bunch of arcade games. But to have one there for your kids that can choose between hundreds of games is in my opinion, I think it's pretty nice. So now I need to grab, I don't know if I want to use my jigsaw or not. Yeah, let me go get that. Let me do a plunge cut with this first. Installed. So let's go do that. Okay, let me get this bottom piece put on. Nice tight fit. Okay, good. Pull that off. We'll put a little glue on this one. Nice and flush with our plywood along the back there. We'll just throw a staple, a couple, And 2 screws on each side. Okay, get our top piece in, do the exact same thing, just put some glue on it. A couple staples to hold it. Probably not going to make finishing all this today, but we're getting there. I have about half an hour or so left before I got to clean up. So, get as far as we can. This side's drooping a little bit because the cabinet, that leg leveler is not level. So we'll just get it into place. Now it'll stay. I'm not going to worry about the back door right now. I want to try to get the monitor mounted if we can. I've probably been working on this for about 4 hours or so far, so it's not too bad. I'll probably have somewhere close to 15 hours total into this, maybe a little less, it all depends. Helps if you put them in the right way. That one. This one's a little bit crooked, but it should be fine. Just a little bit. Oh boy. There we go, straighten it out. You can see how the cabinet is rocking because of the floor. But all right, so there's where we're at so far. So basically, it's all we need to do in the back is cut a back door and drill one hole for the power switch. So you can just reach in there and turn off the power switch. So now I need to figure out the monitor. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a couple of those cleats so that I can put them in here on the cabinet, and we'll see what it looks like at that point. So I'm going to run outside and grab a couple cleats real quick. Okay, this might be a little bit of a pain. I'm trying to hold this and come up with an angle here, because there's really no real easy way to measure this. Just going to kind of eyeball it. Something that I like. Now on a Pac-Man cabinet, the control panels usually come out a little farther, but the sides aren't recessed in as far. I like to recess them in a little bit. I think it looks a little better. I think I'm gonna put it about there. Yep, that moved. We'll put that one on first and then we'll come back and try to line it up. You can see about how far. I want to get this cleat just under the edge of the control panel. Yep. Build my screws. Told you it was gonna be a pain in the butt. Pick up my screws real quick. Okay, let's get some glue on this cleat. Staple this in. I gotta take my glasses off, I can't see this black line. Okay, now I'm going to try to measure from this edge right here down to the corner, which is 20 3/4. So we're going to try the same thing, 20 3/4. Right there. I'm going to measure in 6 1/2, right to about that height. Try not to drop this again. I think we might be off. $20 3/4. Yes, we are. We are an inch off, which means I marked that on the wrong side. So I'm gonna have to pull that back off, I think. We gotta pull that back off real quick. I'm gonna grab a hammer, we'll pull that off and fix the staples and redo it. Okay, I popped that back off. I'm gonna do a measurement from here to the bottom. 19 3/4. This will be the bottom. So the bracket will be up there where my X is. And I still have that mark in the front. So hopefully now we can get this in the right spot. Once we do, We'll put a couple screws in it. We'll be good to go. Measure that real quick. Okay, we're good there. So now I know we're the same as the other side. So stick my glasses back on. Test fit this. Okay, that's not bad there. Okay, so now I need to put screws in the sides of this. And we're gonna drill a couple, 3 on each side. Sorry about that, I had a phone call. All right. These 6 screws, I'm not going to worry about the countersinking bit because this is pine and it'll pretty much sink in just fine with these ones. Double check it for the glue dries. And I feel pretty good with that. So I am happy with that. I think I want to get this back piece in next because there's a reason why. If we put this back piece in next right here, we can just screw into the back of this piece and drop it down, and then we can determine our monitor. And then if we need to put a piece of wood behind the monitor or whatever, we can cut it at an angle so that it has a nice finished edge. But I don't know that we'll need to do that or not. I'm not sure yet. So let's cut this back piece, which I'm probably going to do that off camera. I just need to cut it real quick. It's already cut one direction because we had that piece left over from the top and stuff when we cut that. So I'm going to angle this back a little bit on an angle like they did on the original one. So I'm going to cut this to 14 1/4. So 14 1/4. It's already cut to 23 1/4 wide. Okay, I got this piece cut to the back here. Let's see how it fits. Try to get it in here. Down here probably. That's pretty good. I'm not going to screw it in or anything yet. I want to try to see what the monitor looks like. Okay, that should be a good spot where it's at actually. I think I'm just going to put it right in where it's at. That piece I'm not going to go ahead, I'm not going to glue that piece because it's going on a little bit of an angle and it's not getting a full contact with the wood in certain spots. So we're going to just screw it in where it's at. And that's not any sort of a structural piece by any means. It's just kind of covering up the back of the cabinet. and we're about even on each side from the cleat. So we are good there. So I'm gonna run a screw up through the cleat into the bottom of it on each side. I better go measure the front, make sure we're going pretty straight. 19 7/8. Yep. 16th off. Right there. Now I'm going to put a couple screws through the top, if I can get my drill in there. Okay, that is installed. Next is I have to figure out this monitor because it needs to be below these cleats. I don't know if I could save room by taking it out of the case or not, because I need these cleats for the glass to sit on. Plexiglass. I mean, I could mount this from underneath, but then maybe I will. Maybe I'll just mount this from underneath and I'll just black out when I put the artwork on the glass. We'll just put a band around the edges here and I'll just paint this black. You'll never see it. So I think maybe I'll just do that. That might be the better way to go. So let me figure that out. Get my marker here. And I kind of hold it where I want it. Yeah, we'll do that. I think that's going to work out just fine. Just going to mark it on the one side, and we'll just measure on the other side. Four and a quarter. I think what I want to do is maybe let's just get two more cleats like this, put them on the bottom side, and then we could just put the monitor in here, put it up on this one cleat, and then screw the other cleat in place. So let me go grab a couple more scrap pieces. It's not like we need full pieces. Okay, I got two cleats here. I need to kind of try to figure out where they're going to go. Back here. Kind of hold it in place with my head. Well, gotta move to the other side because the one side of the monitor has a bump out on the bottom, so I'm gonna have to use two pieces of cleat rather than one. It's probably good that I'm putting the monitor underneath this because nobody will hit those buttons to turn the monitor on and off. Don't know how I'm going to do this here. This part's kind of hard by yourself. All right, I got it marked. So I'm going to glue and staple this one cleat on for now. cut this other cleat. Okay, now the cleats on this side, I'm not gonna glue them, I'm not gonna staple them. I'm gonna drill some pilot holes in them, and we're gonna use screws, because if the monitor ever needs to come out, we can just remove these two cleats and drop the monitor down. I'm drilling on an angle so that I have some room to get my drill in there because of the back of the monitor. So hopefully that'll work. So I should be able to push this up into place, put it on this cleat, get it lined up to my mark here, right like that. One. Try and get this other one in. Okay. Now it shouldn't fall on me. Good, I'm not touching that button. A little crooked. Okay, that's pretty good there. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut a block on each side so that it doesn't slide this way. And these I'm just going to staple in. They're not going to need to ever come out. If they do, it's just staples. I'm not going to glue them. And I'm out of staples. I got to get some more staples. And then I need to make a piece, a filler piece for back here. So get that filled in. I wonder if maybe I should make a little piece of wood that goes around all the sides, and then I just black out the edges of the wood, and then when my screen goes over top, I'll put a blank, make sure that the edges are blacked out. I think that might be the way to go. Well, unfortunately, it is 5 o'clock now, and I need to start getting ready to clean up so that I can go do a few things I need to do. So this is gonna end this video. I think it's supposed to rain tomorrow, so maybe Tuesday we can finish this. Getting this last piece made for around the monitor, and then the back door. And then at that point, we are ready to, we just gotta paint the coin door, a speaker grill, get the artwork printed out, and get this put together. And oh, we gotta drill the control panel too. Put the latches on. So there's still stuff to do, not a ton of stuff. I was really hoping to get all the woodworking done today so I didn't have to pull everything back out, but it is what it is. I still have to put a back on that other cabinet, so maybe tomorrow between rain, I can bring that other cabinet out here, at least have it ready to go so that we can get a back put on that one while I'm finishing up this one, so we pull the tools out to get both of these handled. So this is part 2 of the Pac-Man build. I had somebody comment last night, which was a good comment. They had asked me, or they had said that they loved my videos, and they said that maybe I should slow down a little bit because they were worried that I might get burned out from doing so many videos, because I've been doing a video almost every day. I will not get burned out. I've been running a pace like this my whole life. I'm 47 years old. I've never slowed down. I never will slow down. I'm just a very hyper, high-paced person. So doing this kind of stuff, for me, actually does slow me down a little bit, believe it or not, because it gives me time to actually explain what I'm doing and show people the process of how I'm doing it, rather than just running around like a madman, just trying to do it as fast as I can. I don't plan on quitting. I might not be able to do a video every day in the summertime when I'm really busy, but there still will be several videos a week. I'm not doing this to try to become YouTube famous or anything like that. I'm just doing it to try to help people out, you know, that do this stuff or want to do this stuff and don't know how to do it or go about it. I always learn best from watching other people do stuff. I'm not a hands-on, I'm not a reading person. I can't sit there and read for days to try to figure out stuff. I gotta just be hands-on and figure it out on my own. So hopefully videos like this help. And I've had a lot of comments where people tell me stuff that I never knew, which is also really good for me because I get to learn more stuff and I can pass it on to other people. So that's pretty much what this channel's about, is just kind of, you know, showing you guys what I do, how I do it, to hopefully help you guys out. Now, I'm not saying what I do is exactly right or this is the only way you can do it, because there's several ways you can do anything in this world that you want to do. It just all depends on, you know, how you want to do it. And you could take my videos and 20 other videos and you can combine everybody's ways and knowledge of doing things and come up with your own way of doing it, you know? It really doesn't matter. So, all right, guys, this is going to end the video. I got to get cleaned up and get out of here. This is part 2, and I will see you guys maybe tomorrow. We'll work on Cubert. Like I said, I probably won't be working on this tomorrow if it's raining, but we'll see. You never know. Weatherman's usually wrong. So, all right, guys, you have a good night. I'm going to clean up. I will see you guys later.